Welcome to Workplace Psychology with Dr. Martha Greidick. I'm Dr. Martha Greidick. This podcast examines a wide variety of work-related issues through the lens of industrial and organizational psychology. And while many of the topics discussed here may be seen as intended for white-collar employees and their employers, in reality, the ideas presented here are applicable across organizations and industries. Additionally, many of the topics discussed here may be applicable outside of the workplace. I encourage you to examine what's presented here, apply what makes sense to you, and simply discard the rest. You probably already know that taking breaks while at work is an important thing, but taking breaks can be a funny thing sometimes. Some people see breaks as a waste of time. Others understand them to be part of a healthy work environment and see them as a necessary thing. And some forgo breaks simply so that they can be done with their tasks or their workday quicker. The reality is that skipping breaks, especially when we are looking at cumulative effects or skipping breaks over an extended period of time, a long period of time, doing that can have a negative effect. It can have a negative effect on not only your everyday experience at work, but it can also affect your health, both your physical and your emotional health. Skipping breaks over an extended period of time can also increase stress, and it can be a contributing factor to burnout. A traditional school of thought in terms of breaks may be one that promotes a longer meal break that is sandwiched between two shorter breaks throughout the day. Others find it necessary and advocate taking breaks every single hour while you're working. And there are some people who say that taking a break should be more natural, more organic, meaning that you should take a break whenever you feel like you need to take a break. The best pattern of break taking will depend on what your day looks like and what you're tackling on any given day. For example, shorter tasks or shorter projects may call or promote breaks that are more frequent, whereas if you're working on something where you feel like you're in flow, you may not take a break for a while until you're finished with that particular project, or at least with that flow session. The key is to find the type of break-taking pattern that works for you, and understand that you may have to change from day to day, maybe even from morning to afternoon on a particular day, so that the breaks that you take are helpful to you. Because after all, that is the purpose of taking breaks. They're supposed to be helpful to you, not cause you more stress. So remember to take your breaks in such a way that works best for you on any given day. Don't be afraid to change it up. Some people simply don't know what to do during a break. They may have all the right intentions where they decide to take a break, but then they just find themselves sitting at their desk, and before they know it, they're back to doing work without ever having taken a break. One of the most obvious reasons to take a break may be to use the restroom, but beyond that, some people simply have no idea what to do during a break. Although that may not seem like a big deal, if you consider that not knowing what to do during a break may prevent you from taking breaks altogether, that could cause some serious problems, especially when we look at the cumulative effect of never taking a break while you're at work. Practicing taking breaks and trying out different activities during your break is a good way of getting into a habit of taking breaks on a regular basis. Try some of the following as you practice taking breaks. And remember that breaks are intended to be helpful to you, not to stress you out. They're also intended to give your body and your mind a break. And lastly, remember to be flexible. The kind of break-taking schedule that may work for you today may need to be adjusted tomorrow or next week. So be flexible with your approach. An important part of taking a break is to step away from your workstation. So stand up, get away from your desk, get away from your computer. The idea here is not only to give your body a break from sitting, after all, we sit an awful lot, especially at work, but it's also important to give your eyes a break. So you probably spend a lot of time looking at a monitor at work. When you're taking a break, make sure that you're not simply switching your eyes from one monitor, such as your computer monitor at work, to another screen, such as your phone. So make sure you're really giving your body a break. Stand up and step away from your desk. You may want to incorporate some stretching. That's especially important if you're sitting for long periods of time at work. Your body can get stiff, and you want to stretch as a way of keeping your body flexible and keeping the blood flowing throughout your body. You may want to walk around just to get some aerobic activity into your break. It can be a leisurely walk, it can be something fast-paced, whatever the environment allows for. Maybe you're able to do something like jumping jacks or push-ups. For some, that may be available or appropriate. For others, it may not. Do some breathing exercises. You may do those while sitting or while standing up, but if you're going to do them while sitting, see if you can try to find a different place to sit down away from your desk. But breathing exercises are a good way to take a quick break. You may want to do something like massage your temples or massage the area around your eyes. Close your eyes, give them a rest. Remember what I said earlier, we do a lot of looking at screens with our eyes, so it's important to give your eyes a break. And one way to do that is to simply close them for a little bit. Another good way of resting your eyes or switching things up for your eyes is to look at something far away. We tend to look at about the same distance when we look at computer screens and our phones. So it's important that you allow your eyes to exercise their natural ability to focus at different distances. So what does that mean in terms of giving a break to your eyes? Well, if you have a window where you can go gaze outside and look at something that's far away, try focusing on something that's far away. This gives your eyes an opportunity to exercise and to switch up from simply focusing on your computer screen, which is at a fixed distance. So look at a window and look at things that are at different distances from you as a way of allowing your eyes to focus on different things. This will give them a little bit of a break from that same distance when you look at your computer monitor all day long. If you don't have access to a window, you may look for something like a long hallway or a corridor and see if you can focus your eyes at the end of that hallway or corridor. Just something to switch things up for your eyes. Switch up the focus, how far you're looking. Again, it's very simple but very effective, because otherwise your eyes would remain fixed at the same distance throughout the entire time that you're looking at your computer screen. Remember to take a drink of water. We tend to get dehydrated so quickly when we get focused on work and don't bother taking a break. So make sure you have some water during your break. And one last suggestion, take a few minutes to daydream. It may be a nice escape for you and give you something to smile about in your daydream. As you can see, these are simple suggestions. They don't require that your breaks be 15 or 20 or 30 minutes long. These can be 5 or 10-minute breaks, but you can easily accomplish the mission of giving your body and your mind a break away from what you're doing. Keep it simple. As this episode comes to an end, let's review what was discussed. Taking a break throughout your workday is important. It's an important part of your health and well-being. However, it can sometimes be a funny thing. Some people simply forget to take breaks. Others see them as a waste of time. You may be subject to your own opinions on what taking a break means, or even to the opinions of those around you. But the important thing to remember here is that if we don't take breaks, there are cumulative effects, potential effects that may be harmful to your physical and your emotional health. Foregoing breaks can increase your stress and even contribute to burnout. So it's important to take breaks on a regular basis. Whatever the schedule is that makes sense for you in terms of break taking is the schedule that you should focus on, whether you take breaks regularly or more organically. Go with whatever works for you, and remember that that may change from day to day. The key is to find the kind of balance that is helpful to you, not stressful to you. If you're not sure what to do during your break, start with the basics, such as standing up and walking away from your workstation. Take a break, go use the bathroom, have some water. Exercise your body, whether that's simply by standing up and doing some stretching or walking around, or maybe even doing some jumping jacks. Make sure that you give your eyes a break as well. And of course, don't engage your mind in terms of work, but rather allow your mind to rest, maybe engage in some daydreaming. As the week unfolds, I invite you to examine your own habits as they relate to taking breaks at work. You already understand that taking regular breaks at work is important. When we forgo taking breaks, especially on a long-term basis, the effects could be potentially negative and cumulative. So it's so important that you examine your own break-taking habits. Are you bothering to take breaks on a regular basis, or is this something that is the last thing on your to-do list? Make sure that you examine that and be honest with you. Are you influenced by your own beliefs about breaks, or perhaps by simply not knowing what to do while taking a break? Or are other people's opinions influencing what you do? Remember to be honest and make an effort to incorporate regular breaks into your workday. Although it may be tempting to skip breaks and get through your workload quicker, in the end, you're the one who's going to pay the price. Skipping breaks can result in increased stress and can even contribute to burnout. So remember, do yourself a favor and start taking breaks on a regular basis if you're not already doing so. For those of you who experienced this podcast in an audio-only version, I invite you to check out my YouTube channel where you can find this podcast in a video format. In addition to this podcast, my channel contains other videos, including videos on stress management. So I invite you to check out my YouTube channel, and you can find the link for that below in the description. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to this podcast. I hope that you will join me again next time. Until then, I wish you joy and well-being.